As the season slowly winds down, the intensity ramps up. And tonight, Alumni Gym on the campus of NFA is filled with that intensity as they're playing for first place. And you're watching it live on Game Day. LiveOnTheDay.com, Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, and all year long, sports doctor, NFA has flown under the radar, and tonight they have a chance to share first place with the East Lyme Vikings.
Yeah, go figure. NFA, we didn't mention them at the beginning of the season at all, but like I said, chip your way up the ladder, Casey, and here they are, ready to get to the top rung with the 14-2 East Lyme Vikings.
And there's no doubt that Chris Giusti and his Wildcats have used that as motivation all year long. They've been a perennial powerhouse in the league for years. They were forgotten about. We certainly forgot about them, and they have made a statement.
Yeah, maybe one of the best coaching jobs we've seen in the ECC, and especially this year in the league, by Coach Giusti. The kids have played together, they've played very hard, and they've responded.
On the other side of things, East Lyme's been the best team in the league all year long. Batman and Robin, and Jeff Bernardi knows they have to finish what they started.
Yeah, one loss in the league to Ledyard. They beat NFA a few weeks ago to East Lyme, looking to stay up top in the ECC Division I.
Well, while they may be loaded with star players, NFA really likes their team. Let's take a look at the players to watch in tonight's game.
Yeah, sure thing, Casey. The players to watch tonight for NFA, how about junior guard Nick Hay? Nick just may be the second best passer in the league. Great court vision and an unselfish style of play fits right into Coach Giusti's team philosophy. Nick moves extremely well without the basketball, freeing himself up to catch and shoot the ball. Hey, Nick can knock down the long shot from deep range. And how about for East Lyme, senior guard J.R. Gandenberger, streak shooter who can get hot from the outside. The three-point shot is J.R.'s specialty, but the senior could also put it on the floor and get to the rim as well. He's a tough, gritty player. J.R.'s teammates feed off his energy and competitive nature.
Well, speaking of competitive nature, Luke Leonard is part of one of the state's most dynamic backcourts. He's only 5'8", and he's a leader who plays much bigger and is always ready to do the dirty work.
Luke is the heart and soul of our team. He might be 5'8", but the past 2 years he's been second in our team in rebounding, and I think that just speaks volumes about who he is as a player and the effort that he brings to our team.
It's all about angles, I guess you could say. I mean, the big guys box out first, and then just come up and clean up. That's pretty much all it is.
He's just always there for you, you know? Like, when I get double teamed or whatever, he just takes over. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm having a bad game, he'll have a good game. If I have a good game, he'll have, a great game. He's just always playing well, and he has such great energy, and we just feed off that.
He definitely sets the tone, he sets the standard for effort, and the other players feed off of him. He has a nose for the ball, and if it's a 50-50 ball, I know Luke's coming away with it. It's an automatic, it's a guarantee that Luke's coming away with a 50-50 ball.
The dirty work. The dirty work is people don't take notice of that, but it's the work that wins games.
For sure, in practices, he beats up everyone. I don't know how, but he always gets a rebound over Jacob over there, and me sometimes, which is just outstanding. But I don't know, he's happy to do the dirty work, and I'm so I have no words for it, you know.
Yeah, Luke Leonard, the heart and soul of this East Lyme Viking team, Casey. Not afraid of taking the big shot, and they're not afraid of defending in a big spot. He's a real player for Coach Jeff Bernardi.
You know, all year long, he and Deb Ostrowski have formed that dynamic duo. Everyone calls them Batman and Robin, but as Jeff Bernardi says, sometimes you need Robin to save the day as well. On the other side of things, NFA didn't know what they were going to get this year. They lost some players through graduation and transfer, and Aiden Miller has become one of the best all-around players in the ECC. But it's the team concept that he embraces that has Coach Chris Giusti's Wildcats thriving.
Aiden's a team guy. He's always put the team first. He loves being a Wildcat. And he loves wearing the red and white. And he brings that pride to the court every time we have a game, every time we have a practice. He can finish with contact. He's always been able to shoot from the outside, but he's diversified his game. He can handle the ball a lot better. And he's one of our best rebounders.
Last year there were a lot of scorers, and when we lost all that, we lost probably like 80% of our scoring. So I knew that I was going to have to do more than just catch and shoot. So this summer I put in a lot of work to get to the basket and shoot on the perimeter. I worked with a lot of these guys too, and they all improved their game because they knew they would have to step up too.
Every year he's added something, and he keeps getting better. And just a good kid in and out of the classroom and on and off the court. Anytime NFA plays New London, it's a big game. It's still the big rivalry in the ECC, and I know that other teams have come to the top here and are competing well. But in terms of a marquee matchup in the ECC, NFA New London is always going to be a big game.
We definitely feel like we aren't getting as much attention as these other teams, but I think we just use that as fuel to come out and show them who we are. Every other large team in this division has had a close game with another large team in the division. And the teams that we played so far, when we lost by a few points. And every game that we've lost, we only lost by a few. So I think we're definitely one of the contenders.
We've operated all season long as everybody's got to do their job. In order for this team to be successful, we can't rely on one or two guys. We don't have Batman and Robin. We have a group of guys that have jobs, and they have to do those jobs. And when everyone does their job, we're very good.
Brendan Scholes, Alex Gomes, Aiden Miller, Tyler Briggs, Jr. Nick Hay, and Senior Brendan Marr, Casey, all kids that have grown up together, played basketball together, and now what you see is a complete team out there for Coach Giusti.
Well, they're going to need to be a complete team tonight in order to beat East Lyme. The firepower of the Vikings has been prominent all year long. Right there, the NFA student section, Howley Makahiki Ho, that's Happy New Year. They're looking for a vacation into first place tonight. We'll find out if they can do it on the other side. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Storyline Podcast. Conversations with journalists about the communities they cover and the stories they report.
An anonymous tipster said that the DOT workers and contractors on scene had to run for their lives as this dump truck careened toward them. Naturally, something that I wanted to follow up on.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The following is a presentation of The Day.
The road from ECC contender to ECC champion is a dangerous one. A bumpy ride that has claimed such heavyweights as Ledyard and New London. Now only two remain, and they play tonight. East Lyme, the best team in the ECC all year and winners of 8 straight conference games, is poised for their first championship in 8 years. Led by Batman and Robin and the sartorial Jeff Bernardi, the Vikings want to finish what they started. NFA is playing the best basketball of their season, and after avenging a loss to New London days ago, they can claim a share of league lead and best team if they can overcome the Vikings. The fashionable Chris Giusti loves his team's defense, balance, poise, and confidence, and he relishes these games. The long and winding road is coming to an end, but who will make it to the finish first? It's the team that's been the best versus the team that is playing the best. It's for the top spot, and it's on Game Day, live on theday.com.
Welcome back to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill and the Sports Doctor Keith O'Brien, and we are ready for a first place showdown. The East Lyme Vikings here at NFA, where the home Wildcats are, hard to believe, a win away from making a first place tie happen.
Yeah, and then they're on a roll too, Casey. A big win the other night against a good New London team on the road. Now they got a little home cooking and trying to avenge an earlier season loss to this very Viking team.
And if you ever wonder if coaches and players pay attention to the other teams, the standings and things like that, clearly Chris Giusti was paying attention to what we felt about the standings, because he was the first one to say, "Hey guys, we may have the best team right now."
Yeah, he likes his group right now. He likes how they're playing. He likes how they respond to the big spot where it's on the road, down by a few points. There's no panic button over there right now for the NFA Wildcats. And as for East Lyme, Casey, they've been in the catbird seat all year long in the division. They just got to stay there.
I thought it was very telling against New London. when they had a big lead and then they saw it evaporate and they were still calm and cool the whole way through, not letting, I think everyone thought New London was going to come all the way back in that, and they never faltered, never wavered.
There's a one-possession game with under a minute to go, and NFA made plays down the stretch to win that ball game.
On the other side of things, East Lyme, who's won 8 conference games in a row, disappointing loss to Weaver the other night. New London has beaten Weaver, so the ECC's fared well against Weaver, and East Lyme dropped it despite 43 points from Dev.
Yeah, 43 from Dev just wasn't enough for East Lyme to get him over the hump in a non-conference game against Weaver.
Sports Doctor, why don't you talk a little bit about the keys for both teams in tonight's game?
Yeah, I sure think, Casey. The Sports Doctor is keys to the game. For NFA, little things. Extra passes, backdoor cuts, help defense. Little things make big things happen on the court. Play together. Coach Juicy has expressed team basketball all season long. We'll take a team effort tonight to come out on top. And don't lose Dev. Junior guard pumped in 43 points against Weaver over the weekend. NFA defenders will have to check him all night long. And for East Lyme, execute the offense. Coach Bernardi wants his team to stay patient in the half-court set and execute the offense. Rebound. Peters and Horner will have to come up big on the boards for the Vikings tonight, but a team effort is going to be needed on the glass. And Casey, defensive stops. Crucial for the Vikings to get defensive stops in key moments tonight against the Wildcats.
Interesting in the starting lineup tonight, Brett Wood not in the starting 5 for NFA. Tyler Briggs in the starting 5 in Sense, something we haven't seen before. We'll see about East Lyme on the other side, but first, let's meet the players in tonight's game.
Aiden Miller, Moriarty Elementary.
Brendan Scholes, University of Franklin.
Alec Gomes, Moriarty Elementary.
Brendan Marr, Moriarty Elementary.
Brett Wood, Tilted Towers Elementary.
Nick Hay, Horace W. Porter.
Malloy Perkins IV, Veterans Memorial.
Tyler Briggs, Franklin Elementary.
Xavier Marquez, Quantic Elementary, home of the Woodchucks.
Mason Jackson, Sales Elementary.
Carlos Martron, Greenville Elementary.
Evan Sannon, Quantic Elementary.
Andrew Gromko, St. Patrick's Cathedral.
J.R. Gandenberger, Flanders School.
Devin Ostrowski, Ninek Center.
Luke Leonard, Lily B. Haynes School.
Jacob Peters, Lily B. Haynes.
TJ Horner, Ninek Center.
Brent Simeon, Regional Multicultural Magnet School in New London.
Nate Diaz, Lily B. Haynes.
Matt Velakis, Lily B.
Joey Grubb, Ninek Center School.
Alec Elmer, Lily B. Haynes.
David Strobel, Lily B. Hayes.
Drew Mengi, Lily B. Haynes Elementary.
Joseph Shea, Ninek Center.
Game Day is brought to you by the award-winning Submarine Car Wash and Detail Center. Located on Route 12 in Groton, they are your local experts in auto detailing. There's a variety of car wash coupons, and you can find them on theday.com. You should print them and head over to Submarine Car Wash today. And Family First Life. Family First Life can meet all your life insurance needs. Contact them for a free quote at 860-317-1324. Family First Life.
Great atmosphere here at Alumni Hall, Casey, for this big ball game tonight between the Wildcats and the East Lyme Vikings. A couple teams with work to be done after this game. East Lyme's got to play Fitch. NFA's got to play Waterford, a big game on Friday. But this is the marquee matchup of the week in Division I, the ACC.
Absolutely. And it doesn't get any easier for East Lyme after tonight with Xavier and Prince Tech remaining on their schedule. It may not affect the ECC, but it will most certainly affect state seedings moving forward.
Yeah, we are setting up a stretch of basketball here tonight that it's going to be incredible. ECC tournament, state tournament's going to be tremendous. The fans are ready here at Alumni Hall.
They heard you say it's a tough stretch, so that's what they were doing on camera. They were stretching out, get it ready.
Let's tip things off. It's going to be a fun game tonight, partner.
Referee Greg Keith, along with Tony Nacito and Mike Riley. Ready to tip it off is Greg Keith. Peters with the jump with Briggs, controlled by East Lyme, and they'll have the first set of the ball game.
A little straight-up man-to-man defense here by the Wildcats.
Gomes on Leonard and now Gandenberger. Up top, Ostrowski.
Good matchup there between Scholes and Leonard. Keep an eye on that. Gomes on Ostrowski.
Swing pass to Peters. In a bad spot to Ostrowski. Briggs rips it away. Pushing is Miller. NFA very deliberate.
Saw that on Friday night versus New London. Very patient in their sets. You know, a lot of backdoor cuts, a lot of movement without the basketball for the NFA players. They made a living against the Whalers, that backdoor Princeton cut on Friday night.
Little different defense from East Lyme. They're a little more disciplined, not quite as aggressive in the man.
Hey, you won't see them jumping passing lanes like New London or quick double teams. You'll see straight up man force NFA to, do the little things.
Oh, there's a nice look underneath, and the basket is good by Gomes over the top of Horner.
Yeah. And on cue, Gomes on the baseline, Casey, without the basketball, the catch, the quick shoot, the knockdown has NFA up 2-0 early.
Leonard drives baseline, right-handed layup is good, and the foul. He went baseline and scored the basket with the right hand, and he'll go to the line for the bonus.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on that matchup. Leonard's got that quick step. Kind of beat Scholes to the rim that time. The hoop and the harm for Robin.
Nothing but the bottom of the net that time on the free throw, and we got ourselves a 3-2 East Lyme game here in the early going. Marr, Miller, drives on Ostrowski. Ostrowski doubles, long three from Briggs, no good. Gandenberger with the rebound, out to Ostrowski, and East Lyme will push. Oh, nifty move by Ostrowski, pulls up straight away, drains it right in Scholes' face. That's back-to-back time Scholes has gotten abused by Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I like the crossover, I like the rise up, the release point at its highest possible advantage, the knockdown jumper by Dev. He's come to play tonight.
Miller controls now Marr. Scholes fakes the three in Leonard's face. And NFA, again, very deliberate, will run their offense. Miller straight up with Ostrowski. Puts it on the floor and kicks it back out.
See the way Ostrowski closes quick on Miller on the perimeter. Didn't give him any room on that three-point line.
Gomes, now again, Ostrowski with Miller there. Straightaway three by Scholes, no good. And Gandenberger with another rebound.
And so far, early going, the message for East Lyme defense is don't let Miller have any space.
Oh, a little wild to the basket. We're going to get a foul as Leonard went to the hoop. We're going to get a foul on Gomes. But Leonard split the defense that time and got to the basket.
Yeah, second time he's made a commitment to get to the rim, to hoop and to harm the first time. This time, just a little foul on the outside. Leonard, again, is a little small, Casey, but he's not afraid to mix it up at the paint.
Peters spins all the way on Gomes and scores. There's a size mismatch right there as Gomes tried to defend Peters, and Peters wisely all the way to the basket.
A great job by Ostrowski defending that time against Miller. Again, the closeout, no space on the three-point line, and Ostrowski has that ability to get back on D to keep Miller from getting a clean look.
Mr. Instant Offense, Nick Hay into the ball game, replacing Scholes, as NFA sees their offense a little stagnant here to open the game.
Yeah, and he credited that to the East Lyme defense. Again, Casey, the extension by Dev, the challenge in the passing lanes by Peters.
Gandenberger zips a pass off the hands of Briggs, and Briggs had just let it go. That would have been nowhere near Peters, but instead, now we're going to see Brett Wood into the ball game, and he'll take out Briggs. And this is a lineup that we saw have great success against New London.
Look at those two guys. They are dressed for success right there. Wow.
It's the shoes, though. It's the red shoes.
Yeah, you like that. Turnover that time. Miller, good hands on the spot, finds Mark on the floor. Brendan Mark can dribble the basketball. He can shoot it a little bit as well for Coach Giusti.
Gomes got cut off in the middle, swings it back around outside. Marr pulls up for three. Off the front of the rim, and Ostrowski goes up high, tips it to Horner, and now Ostrowski's going to push for East Lyme all the way to the basket. Floater, and a block called on Marr. I think Ostrowski...
That's a good call.
He backed off thinking he was going to get that charge, and drew instead the block on that floater. He'll shoot two.
Yeah, that was a good call. Marr was there. He was kind of falling down. He just didn't establish both feet on the ground before Ostrowski took off in flight. I like the aggressive style here to start the game by Dev. It's a big game. You're on the road. You had an easy catch and shoot from top of the circle, Casey. Now let's see if I can get a couple at the rim, and he's at the line to knock down two.
This has the feel of their first game when they started off, when East Lyme jumped out early
yeah.
and NFA grinded all the way back. Leonard pressuring Marr. Gomes waits here. There's that backdoor cut. Gandenberger wouldn't let Hay go backdoor. Turnover, and it will be East Lyme ball.
And again, you think East Lyme may have learned a thing or two from the New London game and some of those backdoor cuts, and let's stay home You know, don't let your guy beat you at the rim. We saw Gomes get freed up on the baseline for one.
Ostrowski pull up three, short, tipped out. Gandenberger, wide open look. Back iron, no good. And Marr closes out for NFA.
And 2 good looks by the Vikings. I like the shots on both ends.
Out on the perimeter, Wood drives, elbow and kicks.
Nice matchup there between Peterson and Wood.
Sloppy, ball loose. Miller picks it up, goes baseline, hangs in the air, swings, corner, Hay, buries it. 2 for Nick Hay. And a poor turnover as Ostrowski and Leonard didn't talk. Very surprising. And right there, the student section of NFA likes that a great deal.
Yeah, they're going to let him have it. You're on the road here. This is hostile territory. Full house here at Alumni Hall.
Miller getting a very difficult assignment with Ostrowski. Drives baseline. Simeon comes over, draws the contact. What a great job sliding over Brent Simeon. You saw it coming, slid in, and drew the charge on Miller.
Yeah, good call, Casey. That time Simeon took away the rim, stayed at home, and drew the charge. A little lunch pail, a little dirty work there by Simeon. Nice play. It's going to take some of those physical plays of holding your ground on the defensive end to win a ball game like this.
Leonard, stutter step, drives, kicks. Peters to the middle, turns. Little baby hook in the lane is good.
Might have got away with a walk there, dragged that extra pivot foot, but a nice little hook by Peters. He is active. Just one of those kids needs to stay on the floor, stay out of foul trouble, and make things happen.
Yeah, we have seen his development throughout the course of the year. Gomes picks his dribble up, finds Wood. Deep 2, no good, and a strong rebound by Ostrowski getting up.
Boy, he's all over the glass tonight. 5 guys on the boards for the Vikes.
And Ostrowski made a beautiful pass to the scorer's table, but unfortunately Gandenberger was nowhere around.
Kind of telegraphed that a little bit. They thought JR would dive to the elbow extended on the 3-point line. JR stayed at home at the top of the circle. Couple of unforced errors right here for East Lyme in this game, or they could be up by more than 6.
Yeah, Dev needs to shoot that. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the pass, but just shoot the basketball. Gomes, baseline, no one there. Oh, what a beautiful look. Missed shot by Marr. And Leonard comes out of the pack. Ahead, Ostrowski drives toward the middle. What a great look to Simeon. Reverse layup. No good. Rebound by Marr. NFA looking to run, and now, of course, they'll back it back out.
Couple of missed chippies by both teams. A little tight out there, maybe, Casey? A little nervous energy, maybe?
Yeah, I think both teams also good, solid defense. All the way to the basket is Miller, but we're going to get that foul on the floor. As a nice little set of offensive moves there by Miller.
That time you saw Miller taking the advantage of not having Ostrowski on him. Ostrowski got caught up on his screen. That time Gandenberger drew the assignment, and Miller was going to go right to the rim.
Dave Strobel into the game, replacing Peters, so East Lyme goes small. On the other side of things, Malloyd Perkins into the game for NFA. He's guarded by Leonard. In the corner, Perkins.
They got Wood there in the block. You got to feed him the ball.
Yep, he's got the smaller Strobel on him. Perkins gets caught under the rim. Leonard comes out of the pack. Ahead to Ostrowski. High rise. Layup is good.
To the rim, the delivery. Number 5. Send it in, fella.
I believe I said last year that we'll see him before his career's over throwing those down with authority.
Yeah, and a good time right here. Good time out here by Chris Giusti. East Lyme actually, Casey, beating NFA down the court and beating them to the rim. Layups by Luke Leonard, layups by Dev Ostrowski have the Vikings up 12-4. And if it wasn't for a couple of turnovers, they could be looking to beat up 16-18-4.
Yeah, right now they are getting every look they want offensively, just quick off the dribble. Really, NFA has not found a defense that really has prevented East Lyme from getting to the basket. And then on the other side of things, those girls right there have not had a lot to cheer about with NFA with the basketball because they have had no offensive rhythm with Ostrowski really locking up Miller right now.
Yeah, and, East Lyme is cleaning up on the glass. One and done for the Wildcats. Then you've got some breakout and leak-out opportunities. Easy transition buckets right now are the difference with this 8-point lead for the Vikings. I like the way East Lyme has gotten off the bus, per se, and approached this road game. It's a big game for them, and they're ready to play. Tough to come back after a big loss like that against Weaver, but they know what this game is about.
Perkins now with Leonard on him. Finds Miller at the elbow, drives all the way to the basket. Nice set. I will say, Chris Giusti has impressed me. Coming out of timeouts, his sets have been fantastic.
Yeah, set piece off the timeout. They know what they want to run, and they execute it. A good timeout, too. It was a good timeout.
Ostrowski, little stutter step, pulls inside, finds Simeon. He spins on Wood. Left-hander is good.
That's a bonus. Number 21 scoring points is a bonus for the Vikings team.
Down under a minute. Perkins loses the ball off his hip. And Mike Riley says that will be East Lyme basketball when 43 seconds remaining here in the quarter, a chance to take their biggest lead of the game.
Little things make big things happen on the basketball court. John Wooden. Well, John Wooden court right there. You know what John Wooden is?
I believe he was a former head coach of a prominent university.
Yeah. Wizard of Westwood. Little things make big things happen. Got to be careful here. They're going to get a 5-second call. Hay on Leonard, defending very tightly.
There it is. Leonard. He's waiting for that backdoor cut from Ostrowski now. Under 15 seconds. They want that last shot of the quarter. Perkins out on Leonard. He's going to wait to get to about 10. Kicks to Ostrowski. A little clear out for Ostrowski now. Pull up floater. High arcer. No good. Rebound short. Loose. One last shot for NFA, and they can't get it off before the end of the first quarter. Well played first quarter by the Vikings. They lead by 8. Join us on the other side. You're watching Game Day live on Day.com.
The Storyline Podcast. Conversations with journalists about the communities they cover and the stories they report.
A few years ago, if I had been watching a made-for-TV movie about some future president who and it reached the point in the movie where he tweets out a video of his former wrestling days beating someone up, I'd probably say, that's probably where I flipped it off and say, this thing is totally unrealistic.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Game Day is brought to you by the award-winning Submarine Car Wash and Detail Center. Located on Route 12 in Groton, they are your local experts in auto detailing. There's a variety of car wash coupons, and you can find them on theday.com. You should print them and head over to Submarine Car Wash today. And Family First Life. Family First Life can meet all your life insurance needs. Contact them for a free quote at 860-317-1324. Family First Life.
Yeah, nice start to the ballgame here for the East Lyme Vikings, and they've got off the bus. They've got off to a hot start. They've got all their players involved, and T.J. Horner will check into the lineup, and right now find themselves up 8 on the road.
Gomes, little weave action with Hay, cutting Wood, pulls up in front of Peters. I think Peters got a piece of it. Now Leonard's looking to push. Oh, we're nifty all the way to the basket, running, floating, left-hander is good. Oh, boy, Luke Leonard, nifty.
And again, you see East Lyme, that time Luke Leonard 1-on-3, beating the Wildcats down the floor and to the rim. Thus far in this ballgame, the Vikings definitely much more aggressive than the Wildcats.
NFA really not built to score in bursts either. They are a very methodical team. Hey, Perkins from the wing, no good. And a huge closeout by Horner, but I think they're going to get him on the foul.
Closeout or a clear out? Now Horner says, not me. What do you mean, Greg Keith?
Yeah,
Tony Nacito on a call. That was a clear out there.
Yeah, that was a good call right there. He just kind of kept shoving and shoving and shoving. He wasn't interested in the rebound as much as he was in taking 2 blockers.
Move 2 guys out of the way. It's the NFA off of inbounds, set play.
Briggs back into the ball game. Of course, going to UConn to be a pitcher in the fall.
And that's a shot that Jeff Bernardi will give. Tyler Briggs shooting a 3 in the corner. If he's open, he'll let him take that all night.
Hay, and we're going to get a foul on the floor. A little touch foul as Hay went to the basket.
And it's easy for East Lyme to pick up some of those fouls off the ball because NFA players, they move so well, Casey, without the basketball. So it's easy to get that little cheapie, the little nickel dimer, holding or grabbing or trying to fight your way through a screen.
Miller inside Ostrowski, pump fakes twice. Oh, nice look out. Kick out, Perkins for 3. No good, back iron, tapped around. Briggs with the rebound, put it to the floor, lost it. Hay comes out of the pack. Little floater, no good. pulled up baseline, couldn't knock it down. Now Leonard pushes. Ahead to Gandenberger. Fakes the three. In trouble. And Leonard was on the line. It'll be a turnover. NFA ball.
Yeah, real tough place for J.R. Gandenberger to pick up his dribble over there on the far side. Sidelines acts as an extra defender. Got jammed up a little bit. Actually thought J.R. was going to pull the trigger on that three. He was open.
I'm a little surprised. He's not shy when it comes to shooting the long ball.
No.
Gomes with Miller. Now Scholes drifts back into the ball game. And Hay. Trying to get to Miller now on a switch with Briggs, but now Briggs is now floating back on Peters, so they run a little weave. There's a wide open look for Miller, and he knocks down the three.
That's the spark the Wildcat offense needed right there. Clean look to rise up the knockdown by Aiden Miller. Crowds into it, students back into it, Cats back into it. Smooth stroke for the senior forward.
Gandenberger now picks his dribble up. Peters puts it on the ground and then throws it away. And right now, East Lyme, you're a bit surprised if Jeff Bernardi calls a timeout here soon. They're a little out of sync right now, are the Vikings.
Yeah, a little standing around without the basketball on the offensive end for some of the Viking players, too.
Yeah, that's not a happy look right there.
No. Stock prices are down this
right.
quarter, this afternoon.
Dow just plummeted with that look alone. Miller draws the little contact, swings up top to Gomes.
And that's a shot there Gomes can hit. He's got Horner on him, or he can take him to the rim.
Hey, quick trigger. Got it. Hey, quick trigger.
Back-to-back threes. And again, if you're talking about NFA scoring points in bunches, that's where they're going to do it from. The trifecta line. Miller and Hay, back-to-back threes.
Gandenberger on the wing. Little stutter step with Hay. Back to Ostrowski. Swings Leonard's way. Oh, Briggs jumped the route. Peters pulls up, no good, but Briggs will come back and tip it out of bounds.
Last couple trips for the Vikings, they've struggled in the half-court set. They built that lead up, Casey, by attacking the rim on the fast break, but NFA's making shots and getting back on defense.
Oh, great look inside on the inbound. Horner to Peters, and the reverse layup is good off the set inbound play.
Big man to big man.
Briggs foregoes the three up top. Miller, quick trigger in Horner's face. Back rim, no good. Hey, what a great look underneath, but Scholes gets trapped. And we're going to get a reach-in foul around the back. We're going to see if that's on Peters or on Horner. But a great look that time. Did not come to fruition, but it'll stay on the floor.
Peters with the foul that time. Second foul, I do believe.
Gomes will inbound underneath the basket. Miller and Ostrowski, two of the star players of the conference this year.
The closeout by Ostrowski, the hand check, not going to let him get off on the three-point line.
Briggs pulls up for three, just short. Nice rebound, Leonard looking to push.
They've been most successful in transition off of a miss.
Long three from Gandenberger, no good. And Horner gets slammed to the ground. They're going to call jump ball as Briggs and Horner went up together, and Horner got the worst of it, but Vikings will retain possession.
Yeah, the worst and the best of it. The slam down and the possession, Vikings. Horner is in there for action. He's there to make plays, do some dirty work for Jeff Bernardi.
Oh, look at him try to give him the reward. Gandenberger hit him on the cut. He little pump fake, draws another foul. I like that. He gets slammed to the turf, give him a little reward.
He was looking for a little NBA continuation on that, a little and one. Not in this league. It's the ECC, son.
Gandenberger inbounds this time. Ostrowski pull up, buries it.
Oh, he's smooth. Isn't he, Case? To rise up.
He's gonna shoot that ball in college, I can tell you that.
Yeah, good touch, good look that time. No hesitation that time by Ostrowski.
Scholes all the way to Hay. Tried to get a screen. And a little miscommunication that time between Scholes and Miller. Miller zigged and Scholes thought he was gonna zag. Marr back in the ball game. Miller takes a seat. So they're going to have to rely on Hay to get some offense here are the Wildcats. Down 8. Gandenberger now. They had a lob there, but went and reverse. Simeon. Ostrowski cuts left. Leonard now goes all the way baseline, drives, hangs. Oh, and the wild floater is good by Luke Leonard.
Yeah, you got to step in front of him if you're Nick Hay and take away the rim. That time a little Olay defense, and Luke Leonard made him pay.
Biggest lead of the game is 10. Oh, and Gandenberger thought he had the pocket picked on Hay, but instead he's going to get a reach in.
You like the hands, though. You like the quick hands of JR. He'll have to sit. That's his second personal foul.
Drew Mengi into the ball game for the Vikings. And Gandenberger will grab a seat, probably for the remainder of the half.
It's an important 3 minutes and 20 seconds or so for the NFA Wildcats. Like to try and get this lead, down to 1 or 2 possessions before they head into the locker room.
Perkins with Leonard on him, picks the dribble up. Now Gomes also picks the dribble up, dumps it to Briggs, finds a cutting Hay, and we're going to get another reach-in foul. I think that one's going to go on Mengi. So the foul's accumulating.
Yeah, shooting foul, too. Hay will go to the line. I think there's some discussion over there between Tony Nacito, Greg Keith, and Jeff Bernardi. Coach wanted that ball called on the floor, and Tony said shooting foul, and Jeff said, hey, listen, Greg Keith, he towers over Jeff Bernardi, does he not?
Greg Keith towers over most people. Towers over tall people. Yeah, everything in and out that time for Hay.
He's only about 6'11".
Yeah, he's big. He's a large man. One more for the junior guard. And he knocks it down. A little token pressure backed off of Ostrowski. Brings the ball up for East Lyme. Mengi had a cutting Ostrowski, said no. Back up top, Leonard tries to get to the basket all the way. And it is good. And Luke Leonard is putting on a show of how to get to the basket.
Yeah, no answers tonight. No checking Luke Leonard on the outside perimeter for the Wildcats. Made a commitment to get to the rim and score.
A nice look underneath, but Marr had nowhere to go, and East Lyme, good job shutting that off. NFA will reset. They're running that weave, looking for an open look inside the three-point line. There they had it, but instead kick out, and Marr is going to walk.
Tried to show the ball fake that time to Brendan Marr. Didn't put the ball on the floor, decided to go to the rim, travel. As Jeff Bernardi staring down Chris Giusti.
No, he's staring at the shoes, the belt, and the tie. How can you not? How can you not?
Oh,
Don't look directly at him.
It's got to be the shoes.
Oh, you go, Chris Giusti.
He could play 9 holes in those. 18 maybe.
Oh. That's a dandy outfit right there. Ostrowski behind the back, hangs, finds Simeon, and he misses the layup. I don't think Simeon was expecting that pass.
You like the look by Ostrowski, though. Simeon owes you one, Dev.
Where's the offense going to come from right now for NFA?
It'll have to come from Marr in the perimeter or Hay.
Briggs misses the three, not by much, just short. Leonard pushes.
Yep, this is where East Lyme Casey's been effective most of the night, in transition.
Leonard with Hay on him. Barrett goes by, right hand, drives to the basket, and a wonderful job by Marr. Knowing Leonard was going to go to the basket, no cutters, stood in and took the charge.
That's the book right now. Luke Leonard is going to the rim with a head of steam. Nice job that time by Brendan Marr holding his ground.
Looks like the cast of Lost right there.
A couple of those kids are lost. Look at them.
And we've got...
Yeah, kid, is that scuba gear or is that?
Well, of course.
What is that?
Third down, also third down marker over here. I think they made that 3-point shot, but
he's got the skiers goggles on too. Olympics,
which I know you're a big fan of.
Huge.
Wood now on Peters, fakes the spin, kicks back out to Perkins. Perkins goes baseline, pull up jumper, no good. Back iron, tipped around. Mengi comes out of the pack, and he throws it backwards to Peters. Up ahead, Simeon, and now Gandenberger looking for Ostrowski to run the point. He stutter steps on Gomes. Gandenberger fakes the three, drives, pulls up, jumper is good. J.R. Gandenberger knocks it down, and East Lyme's got its biggest lead of the half, 13. Hay swings it over to Marr. NFA very deliberate. Gomes gets baseline, pulls his dribble up, loses it off his hip, and that goes out of bounds, and a bad turnover that time by Alec Gomes, and NFA down 13, and East Lyme with an opportunity to have their biggest lead of the game going into the half. Xavier Marquez checks into the ball game for NFA. So Horner, Ostrowski, Gandenberger, Mengi, and Peters for East Lyme. Marquez, Hay, Briggs, Marr, and Gomes for NFA. Ostrowski with Marquez looking to trap. Now Gandenberger tries to split the double. Can't do that. Picked up by Gomes. Nice defense. All the way to the basket on Ostrowski. Gets trapped. Kicks out Marquez. Drives to the basket. Pulls up. Tries to find a cutter. Briggs ends up with it. Throws it up top desperately. Marr. Open look. Hay. 3 short. And that will take us to the half. A 26-13 lead from the East Lyme Vikings. A very well played first half. The Sports Doctor is going to have East Lyme head coach Jeff Bernardi. Sports Doctor.
Coach Bernardi, you happy with the way your team executed in the first half?
Defensively, yes. Offensively, too many sloppy possessions. I mean, we gave away like 4 or 5 possessions there that really could have spread the game from 13 to 15, 17.
What's the message? How do you find a way to close this game on the road?
Yeah, defensively, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, but offensively, we have to execute better.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, Casey, execute on the offensive end for Coach Bernardi.
A 26-13 lead, and the man you see right there is NFA teacher and unified basketball coach Chris Staley. And he's not just any coach. He was the outstanding coach of the year by Connecticut High School Coaches Association in 2017. Here at halftime today of the NFA East Lyme game, a very special scrimmage is going to take place with the NFA unified basketball team. Now they're going to be presented with a banner in their honor, and they're going to play a little bit of exhibition here between the red team and the white team. Now, unified basketball has been, the NFA team's been selected to represent the Special Olympics of Connecticut at the 2018 Special Olympic USA Games this June in Seattle. The players and coaches are raising funds to cover travel and uniforms, and they'll be collecting donations at Tuesday's game, that's tonight, as well as the rest of the varsity basketball game on Friday, February 16th. The total cost of the trip is a serious one, $10,000. Donations can be made to Special Olympics Connecticut, and what an outstanding cause if you want to help donate to get that. This is the Unified Cheerleaders on there right now. What a fantastic job the Unified Cheerleaders just did bringing the house down here at Alumni Hall. Now last year, Special Olympics Connecticut and the CIAC recognized the program for outstanding accomplishment as a Banner Unified Champion School for demonstrating commitment to inclusion through Special Olympics Unified Sports, inclusive youth leadership, and whole school engagement. So Chris Staley, the outstanding coach and teacher, will jump the ball up between the red team and the white team, and we are underway for the red team. You've got Ivan Paul, Elijah Lamar, Patrick Jones, Jared Small, Cameron Duda, Tanae Hayes, Emma Hargraves, and Gabby Farina. Little jump shot is good. Oh, the red team, you can get out there and play for the varsity. Other side of things, Jake Ricketts, Mark Bastian, Kevin Flaherty, and a steal. Oh, little nifty move. Go to the bell. Oh, look at the style. Rebound is up and good. He's unstoppable. And Keith, you got someone special. Let's go down to you with Chris Staley.
Well, he's Unified Sports head coach Chris Staley. Chris, your kids are behind us. You're back again for another year. How does it feel?
It's wonderful. We love having the opportunity to come out to raise awareness about unified sports and some of the great things we're doing here at NFA. And the kids love being able to get in front of the big crowd and show what they can do. It's awesome.
And the relationship with some of the kids and some of the athletes that play for the basketball team, both on the boys and girls side.
Absolutely. It's wonderful because Unified, we're trying to use sports and competition, the practices the kids get in together, to use that as a sort of common bond that the kids use to build friendships, connections in school. It's a really natural vehicle for doing those kind of things. And nights like this are the things kids look back on and say, like, oh my God, you remember the time we played that halftime game? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's tremendous stuff. I mean, you're going to keep this going. You're getting a great response here at NFA. It's got to be a win-win for everybody.
It's unbelievable here. In addition to our sports programs, we have a whole variety of other unified programs that take the same concept of inclusion and bringing people together. We use those in the classroom with unified classes. We have unified social clubs. We do dances, all kinds of things to bring kids together.
Well, you got a game going on. I don't want to keep you from it. Casey, let's get a look at some of the action. Chris, keep up the good work.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We love having the opportunity. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. Thank you, Chris. I'll tell you right now, number 2 on the red team can do no wrong. He's been a force here in the early going for the red team. A little dipsy-do, some 3 balls. Well, the coaching and the action never stops here at halftime. Sports Doctor with another of our legendary coaches. We'll bring him up in a minute, but we're going to watch a little layup action. Is good. Knocks it down. And I'll tell you, nothing better than the back-and-forth action of the unified sports. A little bounce pass in the lane, up steal. Got to push now, got to push. Oh, from the parking lot. Oh, nothing but the bottom of the net. He shot that one from Preston. Up, layup, drives to the basket. Rebound up, no good. One more time, knocks it down. And the smile tells it all. Oh, they're going to let the big run the point. Going to run the point offense from the center. Turnover, White going the other way. Jump shot. Oh, no good. Rebound. Comes down and the red team's going to push. Now, if you've been watching, you saw Elijah Lamar, and I hope I'm saying your last name right, Elijah, put on the best shooting display we've seen tonight, and that includes Deva Strowski and Aiden Miller. He knocked down shots from all over the court. That kid can absolutely flat out play. He's taking a seat as we've gotten some new players in the game. They're having a good time right now. We're going to get this layup knocked down right here. There it is. Got it to go. 62 for 2. Coming the other way. Little bounce pass into the lane. Strong move to the basket. Oh, they want to run. They want, you always like the centers to run the action. Oh, coast to coast. Send it home, Jerome. Oh, look, see, that's good. He kicks it out to a teammate for a jumper. Oh, no good. Rebound. Under the basket for a little putback. Knocks it down. And that's what you like to see. The cheering section of NFA, the student section, every bit is into this game as they are into the East Lyme NFA game. All the way to the basket. Strong dribble. And buries it. Oh, that's what it's all about. There's the excitement. Yeah, look at that smile. All the way to the basket. In the lane. Uncontested. Oh, side of the rim. Strong rebound. Oh, I can't get it to go. Or going to give someone else a shot. I mean, they have a lid on that one. So he said, I'm going to try it from in here. Nope, he still can't. One more. And all right, it goes in. All right, good. Nice job there by the red team. White team sending multiple people back. They're going to break pressure. Run the 4-on-1. All the way to the basket. Just short of the rim. Gets her own rebound. Up again, just short of the rim. One more opportunity from the middle of the lane. Just short of the rim. Point guard gets rewarded. Always nice when you kick it out to your point guard. A little bit too long with that one. He's going to get another crack at it. And knocks it down. Yes. A little fist pump action as the white team knocks a shot down. Coming the other way with the red team. Kick out to the wing. Back iron no good by number 60. Gets his own rebound. Back iron again. Another rebound. Gets rewarded. A little floater is off the side of the rim. And he knocks it down. I got to ask how much Chris Staley's doing working on these jump shots in the practice sessions. Clearly, they've been working on their shooting here before the game. Oh, solid defense, but the shot goes. Nice shot. And the smile. And that has the end of the red team, white team exhibition of the unified basketball game here at NFA. Head coach Chris Staley amongst his unified basketball players as they put on a fantastic exhibition. And this is now the banner presented in the NFA Unified Honor. Sports Doctor, you got another head coach down there. Who do you got?
Well, let's take a little stroll down memory lane. Some 25 years ago, 1993, I was introduced to Neil Curlin at UConn basketball camp, who then introduced me to Glenn Miller and Dave Souza and got me a job at Bacon Academy. Yeah. Coached 25 years. I mean, that's a long time ago.
It's hard to believe that 25 years has gone by, but we had a great run there at UConn when Calhoun first came in and working as high school coaches up there. And, yeah, those are good memories.
You were coaching at Wyndham High, I believe, back then, leading up into some of those years. Then you took over here at NFA. Tremendous run at the academy. You made it all the way to a state final game with Mark Jones, lost to Warring Harding, I do believe, up in Central Connecticut. You know, your experience here as a head coach of NFA's boys basketball.
Well, that was 2001 that we went to the finals, and, it was a great trip. Lost by 3 points. But I had a great 17 years here, 11 years before that at Wyndham as a head coach for 28 years. And blessed to have all those great kids and people to work with. No regrets.
You know, when you see some of the kids that played for you, whether it's a Mark Jones or an R.J. Evans, doing things that they're doing, it's got to make you feel pretty proud.
Yeah, Mark Jones and R.J., two of the high-profile guys, the Division I guys. But there's also been, dozens of other kids. 37 kids went off to play college basketball that I coached, and I couldn't be more proud of. But, there was another 50 kids that went off and did great things that nobody knows about. And when I get to see those guys or hear from them, it's always a real pleasure.
Right now, Juice won, I believe, a league championship in his first year as head coach at NFA. He's definitely a better dresser than you are. But what can you say about Juice and the job he's done carrying the flag?
Yeah, I could never pull off those red shoes. This year is a tremendous year. I mean, he lost 90% of his scoring. Lost his two top players to a prep school this year. And they're playing for the league championship or the division championship with all these great seniors. A lot of these seniors came up just through the program. JV kids earned their stripes. They're not shooting well tonight, but Juice has done a great job, and he loves the kids. He's hard on them, but he loves them, and he helps them for the rest of their lives.
Now, we both know, Neil, once you come off the sidelines, people still call you coach. Do you miss it a little bit?
I love being called coach. There's no question about that.
Do you miss the games? Do you miss coaching?
No, I don't miss the stress. You know what? People watch these games. Me now, we have a 32-minute window. That's what we see. What you don't see is the 24 hours that these coaches are thinking about this game. It's hard work. It's really year-round because the kids are always playing and you're always going to watch them. And it's real hard work. It's got to be a passion or you just get burnt out.
Yeah. Neil Curlin, class act. No stress here on the sidelines. Hanging up there with Jimmy Calhoun and Glenn Miller. Neil, great run in your career of coaching at Wyndham and here at NFA. Tremendous work.
Thanks, Keith.
Casey?
Thanks, Sports Doctor. A lot to cheer about if you are an East Lyme Viking right now. On the other hand, however, the NFA Wildcats down 13 points here as we are at halftime, 26-13, as Dev Ostrowski and the rest of the Vikings get ready to tip it off here in the second half. We will join you, or you join us. We'll be back. Either way, on the other side, you're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
It's the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien. You want to hear from local coaches, athletes, and personalities? Well, how about giving my weekly podcast a listen? I mean, do you have a kid in mind, though, John, who would take the last shot down by 2 with, say, 6 seconds left?
God almighty. I mean,
I give you a look at sports from a fan's perspective as well. Do you have a problem with him pulling up from about 35 feet, from the basket, Coach?
We have had talks about this.
The Sports Doctor here on theday.com.
Game Day is brought to you by Family First Life. Family First Life is a team environment, hiring many current and former athletes because they understand competitiveness and teamwork. If you're looking for part-time or full-time work, apply online at familyfirstlife.com.
Oh, you know about the stress of coaching, do you not?
Yeah, my wife has told me I will never coach youth basketball ever again.
Well, I mean, like I said, in the last few weeks, I've had a chance to talk to Neil Curlin and Dave Souza, a couple of guys that helped me along when I was a young adult, coaching, and, there was a Turtle Otter Bacon Academy, and it's, these guys, they're old-timers now. Don't tell them I said that, but they have, they carried the flag quite nicely for this league and these schools.
Yeah, growing up in New London, Neil Curlin was symbolic of some of the great basketball games between NFA and New London. Ralph Ruggiero and then Chop Parker coaching against Neil Curlin. Some of those great games where those two teams were so good. Those were special games, and Neil could coach. So that was the best part, is he would come in fired up to try to match wits with the New London coaches, and those were great games.
A lot of fun. That halftime was a lot of fun. Unified Sports, Neil Curlin, just a tremendous halftime presentation here at the Academy, as they would call it.
Now, I don't know how much you got to see of the Unified Sports game, but Elijah Lamar, number 2 of the red team,
triple-double?
Right now, is the best shooter in this gym. And that's no offense to Dev Ostrowski or to Aiden Miller, but he was filling it up. He knocked down 3 3-pointers, including one that he may have been charged a long-distance fee if he was on his phone.
Dialed in. From downtown, as they would say.
The dapper crowd here at Norwich Free Crowd. 13-point East Lyme lead in Sports Doctor. Jeff Bernardi was pretty clear at halftime. It's kind of a confidence. They feel like it's their game. There's nothing that they have to do differently than just play basketball.
I think off the record, Jeff probably feels his team should be up 20 at this point. NFA was slow. NFA is 13 points at halftime. And again, a couple of sloppy offensive possessions, a couple of turnovers over there for East Lyme. And, this game could be, 34-13 pretty quickly.
Now, the hair, the tie.
It's all perfect, isn't it?
Suit, the stare right now. It is all working. If there's any suit that can overcome a 13-point deficit, it's that suit right there.
He looks sharp. There's no doubt about that. But he's got to find a way to get his players some easy baskets at the rim. Casey, the other night against New London, they had at least a dozen backdoor cuts and a dozen easy looks at the rim against the Whalers. They have none of that tonight. They have one Alec Gomes cut on the baseline for an easy bucket, and that's about it.
Part of the problem is they really only have 2 kids who seem comfortable shooting the ball from three-point line or even from outside. And that is Hay and Miller. Briggs not afraid, but he's really not a shooter from out there. And the other guys, Scholes and Gomes.
Marr's got to get going a little bit too,
They have not shown any inclination to shoot it from long distance. So the only way they're going to overcome a 13-point deficit, I don't think it's going to get done on the backs of backdoor cuts. They're going to have to do what they did when they cut it to 7, which is run some screens and get some guys some open looks for 3. But if you only have 2 guys willing to do it, someone's going to have to knock them down.
Yeah, and number 5 for East Lyme, and Dev Ostrowski's been drawing the assignment of Aiden Miller, so he's had a tough time creating space to get that open look. He's, Dev is, we talk about his offensive, ability, scoring, but he does a nice job on the defensive end. He sticks with his guy. He's been cleaning up on the glass tonight. Dev has brought the complete game tonight for Coach Bernardi.
And, he really hasn't had to light it up. He scored 43 points the other night in their loss to Weaver.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had to do that. Luke Leonard has been able to get to the basket pretty regularly.
Yep.
Peters and Gandenberger have had good looks. And so Dev really hasn't had to overexert himself offensively, which is nice. Like you said, he's working very hard on the defensive end.
Yeah, Simeon chipping in a little bit off the bench as well. So it is a team effort. No doubt about it for East Lyme.
And watching Dev shoot, he's got such a low energy jump shot. It's so smooth and very cost effective, if you will.
Yes.
And on the other side of things, they have made Miller work very, very hard for every opportunity that he's had. He got that one clean look from the 3, and he knocked it down.
Yep.
But they're going to have a tough road to overcome here. But the one thing you love about NFA is the senior leadership. They're very poised. They're not rattled even by a deficit of 13 points.
Yeah, and take Dev out of the equation right here in the second half, Casey. I think the one person that NFA is going to have to stop is Luke Leonard. I mean, he got to the rim at will. You saw Marr pick up a charge. But other than that, he got himself to the rim, got himself some easy scoring opportunities at three-point play. NFA won't win if they don't keep Luke Leonard away from the cup.
Yeah, because those are the backbreakers. He got to the rim 4 or 5 consecutive times without any real issue.
Oh, the student section over there at NFA, they're ready to roll. Look at these guys over here. We get a shot of these guys. Look at this. They are, is he? Wow.
Is that a Franciscan monk leading them in
Friar Tuck or somebody like that?
Throwing holy water on them?
I don't know.
Bless me for Father, for I am down 13 points.
You've got look at this. That's what it is. It's Poland spring holy water.
And yay, as the basketballs came into the Valley of the Canaanites.
We've seen some characters here on game day. We've seen some tremendous costumes and outfit. The student sections this year have been great. NFA keeping that tradition alive as we begin the second half here at Alumni Hall.
Now, NFA's been great out of timeouts. They were great coming out of all the breaks. So let's see what they design here coming out here in the second half.
I wouldn't think it's going to be any different than what they had established in the first half. It's just executing and getting clean looks.
Scholes up top, Miller, same assignment as Ostrowski.
Nice job that time by Peters, flashing on the defensive end, not letting Miller turn the corner. Good help defense that time by the Vikings.
Miller pulls up in Ostrowski's face, back iron, no good, strong rebound, Scholes. Briggs with an open look, short, great rebound by Gomes. Multiple chances.
It's one thing you didn't see in the first half. You saw a lot of one and done for the Wildcats. That time East Lyme falling asleep a little bit on defensive glass.
Miller finds a cutting, now back to Miller.
And that's a shot they're going to give Briggs, too. They're getting that three-point shot all day long.
Yeah, he's about 0 for 5 so far. Miller pulled up in Ostrowski's face and drew the foul.
Well, he's going to have to assert himself, so if it's from 14 feet or 24 feet, got to manufacture some offense if you're Aiden Miller. A little cheapy that time by Dev, a little reaching, a little ticky-tack job.
So Miller will shoot 2. Free points are always at a premium. And he not misses the first one. We saw him struggle the other night at the foul line against New London. He's too good a shooter to miss foul throws. That's just uncharacteristic.
Foul shot or a free throw?
It's just not a thing as much as you want to make it one.
Those are 2 foul shots, and then he picks up the foul. 2 foul shots and then a foul.
Yeah, that's surprising for someone who's such a good shooter to not be able to knock down at a higher free throw percentage than that. But either way, turnover, East Lyme with the ball and their biggest lead, 13 with a chance to extend.
Frustration reaching that time by Aiden Miller.
Ostrowski with a left hand. Gandenberger fakes the 3. Stutter steps, gets in the air to Horner. Double team trapping on Leonard. He gets it to Gandenberger, though.
A bit of a matchup zone here as we start the second half for the Wildcats. They come out of that man-to-man looking to trap.
Got to reverse the ball. There's Gandenberger now, spins. They got a wide open guy. You got to look for it there.
Now look for Peters or Horner to flash up and grab the ball.
Leonard gets an open look. Back iron, no good. Out of the pack comes Marr. Good look that time by Leonard. Scholes up top to Miller.
Again, the switch off on defense that time.
And that ball was off of Strowski, and it will stay NFA ball. And we're going to see quick subs. Hay into the ball game along with Xavier Marquez.
Help defense, Casey, by the Vikings there, passing Aiden Miller off. So if he blows by or gets picked off what Strowski does on the screen, then he'll get passed off to Peters and or Gandenberger.
Touchdown pass to Marquez as he goes deep into the backcourt for that one. Gomes with the left hand finds the cutter, kick out, open three, Briggs, short, Ostrowski. Up ahead to Leonard. Pulls it back out. Resets. Gandenberger flashes high post, gets it, turnaround jumper at the foul line, knocks it down.
Yeah, NFA in that little matchup 1-2-2 zone, and that's where the soft spot is. The soft spot is at the free throw line, whether it's one of your bigs, whether it's Gandenberger, come up to the free throw line, catch, turn, shoot, knock it down, JR.
Yep, go odd set. They go with a 2-1-2. We're teaching the kids, when you see a zone, you got to go with the, they're putting a 1, you got to go with your 2. They're putting a 2, you got to go with a 1. You got to overload, this, create the triangles. And right there you saw East Lyme early recognition, Gandenberger right to the high post, and he can knock that shot down all day.
Yeah, and you can bring up Peters and run a screen or Horner and run a screen off that high post as well. But like I said, overloading, bringing somebody up, the catch and shoot situation that time with the guard, knocking it down. And right now, East Lyme coming out of the gate strong to start the second half. NFA stuck in quicksand a little bit.
It's funny because we saw NFA roll into the New London game and play so good. They punished New London, getting to the basket, backdoor cuts, and played very, very good defense. There's a guy that knows a thing or two about winning. I'm talking about Glenn Miller on the far right.
Jimmy Calhoun, 3 national championships. Jimmy, we need you back up at UConn. Come on.
They still got that smile.
He's great.
There's some wins right there, in that grouping.
Of course, Glenn Miller taking Conn College went to a Final Four. A couple of New London guys on that team that year for Coach Miller.
Yeah.
Wayne Stallings.
Isaiah Curtis. Zeke, as they call them. That kid can absolutely shoot the basketball.
New London flavor everywhere, isn't it?
Well, listen. Get on board, my friends.
New London players at Providence College. Rob Sanders,
we
Chris
can make
Dunn.
you. We can make you an honorary Whaler. It's all right. Whaler. They sound similar. Gomes pulls up from the foul line. That's a good look right there by Alec Gomes.
Yeah, off the timeout too, Casey. We talked about the execution off the timeout. Now we're going to see a little token man, a little full court pressure here. Go to the double team, back into the zone for the Wildcats.
Ostrowski now is going to be going high post. Nice cut to Peters, puts it on the floor, goes up strong. Blocked, gets his own rebound. He'll draw the foul that time.
Yeah, sorry about that, Casey. The NFA will drop back into that 1-2-2 matchup zone, looking to double team. And again, like you said, East Lyme finding Peters. The active hands, the quick step will get himself at the line for 2. Again, the way to beat the zone is passing the basketball. And that time, East Lyme passed the ball very well.
Get the zone going in one direction, reverse the ball, get it in the open spaces, cut to the basket. You learn it when you're a kid, but it doesn't change. Doesn't change. Into the ball game, Nate Diaz. We're going to see Leonard get a rare minute off as the lead has ballooned to 14. One more for Peters, and the Vikings have doubled up the Wildcats, 30-15.
NFA's got to be careful here. 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and East Lyme's extended their lead to come out of the locker room.
Gomes drives, baseline, swings. Hay. Perkins drives now. A little floater strip from behind by Ostrowski. He spins, heads to the basket, and throws it behind Diaz. The story of the game, Sports Doctor, is we're 4:38 into the second half. NFA has 15 points.
You got to credit East Lyme for that. You got to credit their defensive presence and their execution on a defensive end. I mean, NFA shooters, Casey, haven't really had any clean looks tonight. No backdoor cuts. Good help defense on the perimeter.
How about that? Mason Jackson got into the game, was in it for less than 5 seconds, and knocked down a three. He's a freshman. They're right, he is. Peters, Horner, back to Gandenberger. Reverses. And there's a turnover. NFA pushes the other way with Marr. In the corner, Jackson. Another three. Good! Oh, where have you been? Mason.
Crowd's alive. Place is fired up. Leads under 10, single digits here at Alumni Hall.
Gandenberger drives. We're going to get a touch foul on the edge by Marquez. Some new faces into the ball game right now for NFA. Not typical, as Simeon and Leonard will come back in for the Vikings. But Mason Jackson, the answer to the NFA shooting woes as he buries back-to-back threes, and only a freshman. Maybe the cupboard is not bare after this year here at NFA.
He certainly brought some energy into the team and into the crowd here in the second half.
Leonard gets a nice reversal from Gandenberger. Now drives back to Horner. And a turnover again. Out of the pack comes Hay. Marquez now will push.
Boy, that zone gives East Lyme fits.
Out it goes. Three ball. No good from Marquez. Rebound by Ostrowski. Nice job by NFA getting back. And now Marquez are going to trap. Gandenberger got to reverse the ball against the zone.
Got to get Simeon to come up to the high post. They call timeout by Jeff Bernardi.
That's a good timeout right there. They look very uncomfortable against this zone. You can't dribble the ball into the trap areas of a 1-2-2. You have to reverse the ball.
Now they're inviting you to go into the corners. They're inviting you to get caught up, against the half-court line. And that's where they're looking for the double team. If I was Coach Bernardi right here, I certainly wouldn't tell him how to coach his team, but maybe bring Dev up through and let him catch and shoot at the foul line.
Well, they're pressuring. The problem is they're pressuring the ball, and East Lyme's going wide against the 1-2-2.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you got to be able to reverse the ball. You can't dribble towards. If you're splitting up with the two guys high, you can't dribble toward one because now you're inviting the trap.
Right.
You got to be able to pass it wide and then get into that high post area, create that triangle that you can do all kinds of things out of.
Right. NFA showed you right now they're selling out on that trap too. So if you pass the ball, you can beat it.
Leonard harassed by Gomes. Picks his own ball up. There's the trap, and there's a steal. Marr. It is good, and the lead is down to 7.
8-0 run here by NFA has got him right back in this ball game. Couple of threes, a steal by Marr. At the rim for 2. We got a ball game here at NFA.
And they are defending, and there's another strip. Weak side Jackson. And we're going to get a foul on Leonard.
Casey, now you're seeing some of the length. Alex Gomes, out there, the length bothering Luke Leonard. And again, tough to dribble through the pressure.
And they just went boxing one on Dev that time. They put Marquez on Ostrowski. So they're rotating. Chris Giusti is switching up the defenses, trying to get East Lyme to be uncomfortable, and it's working.
It's danger zone time for NFA. Now they're right back in this game.
Gomes. Jackson up top. Gomes for 3. No good. Hay with the rebound. A look to Marquez. Over the top of Ostrowski. No good. And he slides on the floor. What are we going to get? Should be a turnover, and the ball will go to East Lyme.
Giusti didn't like that one. He was hemming and hawing over that. Loves the effort by his team. You see him urging him on.
And they're doing this without Aiden Miller. There's the trap on Gandenberger and a strip. And Gomes ahead of the pack. Up ahead to Jackson in stride. for two. Where has this Wildcat team been?
A 10-0 run by NFA. 2-possession ball game. The place is hopping right now.
And another steal. Ahead to Gomes. Basket is good. And the foul. And the Wildcats are going crazy. It's a one-possession game. I cannot believe it.
And a timeout here by East Lyme coming off the heels of a 12-0 run by East Lyme.
A textbook 1-2-2 trapping defense by NFA has completely taken East Lyme out of the game.
Yeah, never mind getting into your half-court set. East Lyme can't even get the ball over half court the last 2 trips. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the length of the NFA guards. You know, Gomes, Marr, Hay out there harassing some of the East Lyme ball handlers.
Well, the story of the game is simple. Mason Jackson, the freshman, came off the bench with an East Lyme leading 30-15. He touched the ball for 5 seconds, knocked down a 3, and it has been a 12-0 run since then, and he has scored 8 of those 12 points and has played length and long defense in the 1-2-2. That young man right there is a freshman in the biggest game of his life, and he has led NFA all the way back.
He's certainly put a little charge, a little energy into the building here.
He can't even go to an R-rated movie. Miss by Gomes. Gannenberger with the rebound. Now the Vikings, they do not know how to attack this thing.
Why do you pick up your dribble 1 step before half court if you're J.R. Gannenberger? Got to reverse the ball.
Ostrowski to Horner. And we're going to get a foul block on Jackson. But East Lyme looks very uncomfortable against this trapping zone.
I wonder what Jim Calhoun would dial up right here if he was coaching East Lyme.
Husky.
How about Glenn Miller?
Husky.
How about Casey O'Neill? Whaler.
No,
we run Husky?
We run Husky.
Jim Calhoun over there. Glenn Miller, a hand on his all-time great.
5-second call. Instead, Simeon gets trapped in the corner, finds Horner. That's a good no call right there.
I thought Horner got away with a walk there, too. A little shuffle of the feet. East Lyme having trouble converting.
Gomes to Jackson.
Don't let him shoot it.
Miller back in the ball game. He drives. Left hand is blocked by Ostrowski at the rim, but we're going to get a foul, and Aiden Miller's going to shoot too. And NFA can get closer than they have been all night.
Yeah, and Aiden Miller's ready for action. He's been chomping at the bit, sitting over there on the bench for the last 3 or 4 minutes, gets himself in the ball game, gets a touch Casey, gets rolling to the rim, and gets himself at the line. Missed his last 2. Make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, he's frustrated with that right now. Look at him. Yeah. Laugh it off. Good shooter. One more for the senior. And it knocks that one down. And it is a one-basket game.
Wow.
1-2-2, stop the ball. Trap in the corner. Gannenberger forgoes a 3. I think he should have shot it. Diaz finds Simeon underneath, and they finally break that schneid. Marquez from the wing, no good. Over the top, we're going to get an offensive foul against Hay as he went over the top of Diaz.
And Chris Giusti again in Tony Nacita's ear that time. None of these coaches are ever happy with the calls, are they? If looks could kill if you're Giusti over there.
Right now you're working the officials for every call you can. You know you're trying. This is going to be. It's now a fight. So
yeah.
Everything you can get, you want to get. You can't. I don't know why they are so content.
The dribbling to that corner
exactly to where NFA wants them to.
And then picking up the dribble as well.
Diaz the other way now. They're jumping the pass. There's Gannenberger now. Stutter steps. There, run a little weave. Nope, stripped. Diaz. Jackson got to the ball, but he couldn't get there in time. And it'll be East Lyme ball. But Jeff Bernardi, right now East Lyme doesn't have any answers.
Brennan Scholes coming back in for a struggling Aiden Miller and a frustrated Aiden Miller, too.
Peters back in the game. They want somebody who can score around the rim. I mean, if they can figure out to make that first correct pass up top, they got a layup. Because NFA is overselling everything up top, like this. Simeon trapped, reverses, Diaz swings, Gannenberger, 3-ball, deep, no good. Peters with a strong offensive rebound, blocked. Jackson out of the pack. The freshman from half court, just shy. We are at the end of 3 periods, and the Wildcats are back in it. Fourth quarter action on the other side. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
It's the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien. You want to hear from local coaches, athletes, and personalities? Well, how about giving my weekly podcast a listen?
I mean, do you have a kid in mind, though, John, who would take the last shot down by 2 with, say, 6 seconds left?
God almighty. I mean,
I give you a look at sports from a fan's perspective as well.
Do you have a problem with him pulling up from about 35 feet, from the basket, Coach?
We have had talks about this.
The Sports Doctor here on theday.com.
Game Day is brought to you by Family First Life. Family First Life can meet all your life insurance needs. Contact them for a free quote at 860-317-1324. Fourth quarter action here at Alumni Hall on the campus of Norwich Free Academy, and the home Wildcats have cut a 15-point deficit down to 4 on the backs of a 1-2-2 defense that is completely baffling East Lyme.
Yeah, 13-2 run to close out the third quarter by NFA, Casey, and they turned up the heat, the pressure, the three-point shooting, and all the above versus the East Lyme Vikings. And Luke Leonard Robbins still sitting for Jeff Bernardi.
Nate Diaz hounded by Gomes. Simeon swings, Gannenberger, 3-ball from the wing is good.
Yeah, good shot that time by J.R. Gannenberger. Don't even think about it, son. Just rise up and knock it down, number 2.
Gomes pulls up from just inside the foul line, back rim, ball up, and Jackson tips it back to Hay. Swings, Miller for 3, good!
Frustrated no more. I got a clean look, Coach, and I buried it. Miller time for the Wildcats. Boy, you got to like that as a senior out there, Casey. Catch and shoot and knock it down.
Oh, that's a nice swing pass. Simeon now Gannenberger for 3, no good. Rebound by Hay. They did a nice time, the flashing to the high post that time. Miller drives right on Ostrowski. Kicks. Marquez drives. Up top. Gomes kicks back, looking for an open look. Jackson, open 3. Short, just short, and Diaz with a rebound.
NFA's got some shooters free in the perimeter, though. They had 2 or 3 clean looks that time in that offensive set.
We're going to get a foul out on the perimeter on Gomes. And NFA will inbound the ball with Nate Diaz running the point right now, the junior guard. No Luke Leonard as for a little while, and we got a little wardrobe malfunction on the foot of Brent Simeon.
You go back to the, some of the keys to the game, Case. We talked about Jeff Bernardi. Execute the offense. Stay patient in a half-court set and execute the offense. Kind of failed them down the stretch the other night against Weaver.
There's a steal by Jackson. Loose on the floor. He calls a timeout, but no. Greg Keith said he travels first, and Chris Giusti can't believe it. Chris Giusti saying, I want a timeout. Come on, Greg.
Couple of guys there. One guy with a size advantage. Student section doesn't like it. Coach Giusti doesn't like it.
Southwest discount flights on Tuesdays. That cheering section wants. Diaz picks his dribble up, finds Gannenberger. There's a nice look to Simeon. Underneath, he had Peters. Threw it behind him. Another turnover.
Right idea, bad execution by Simeon. Peters that time freed himself up. A little high-low look that time for the Vikings.
Marquez, Miller, pull up from the baseline. No good, strong rebound. Simeon, now Ostrowski. Best way to beat that 1-2-2 is to push. But Marquez does a great job on the ball. Gannenberger, back to Ostrowski and a give and go. Fall away baseline is good, but they're going to say the foul was on the floor.
Oh, that's the sweet NBA continuation. They got to give him 2 for style right there.
Yeah, well, that looked
Knock
good.
it down. Looked great, didn't it? Back foot.
And there is the starting point guard of the East Lyme Vikings, Luke Leonard, and he has been on the bench for quite a while now, and no word as to why, as Ostrowski knocks down the first end of the one-on-one. And Dev is best foul shooter out there.
74% on the year for Dev Ostrowski. 91 out of 108. I'm sorry, 81 out of 108 coming into this ball game. East Lyme shoots a free throw together as a team, Casey. 75% from the line.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, on the high school level, yeah.
He didn't hit the rim on either of those two. And we're going to get a whistle and a substitution now. See what Tony Nacito and Greg Keith figure out down there. Okay, it'll be NFA ball.
Yeah, 91 out of 108 for 84% for Dev coming into tonight's game. Good free throw shooters all along. J.R. Gandenberger shooting 79%. Luke Leonard, 70.
Miller kicks, open 3 ball, short, high rebound by Simeon. He gets it to Ostrowski. Dev behind the back, nifty, hounded by Scholes, back in the 1-2-2. Oh, he tried to zip it into Simeon. Gandenberger with a lucky bounce. Oh, what a look to Simeon, over to Peters. Ball bouncing around like a pinball machine. Now Diaz goes baseline. Peters. Gandenberger with a long 3. Oh, and a nice strong rebound by Jackson.
Gandenberger shot that ball from Taffield, too. That was a good 25 feet out.
The ball was bouncing like a pinball for a while. Miller with Gandenberger on him, spins in the corner to Jackson. He's got Simeon. And Ostrowski is on Gomes.
Nice job closing out, off-ball help for the Vikings on defense. Settling things down a little bit on the defensive end.
Hey, Gomes, 10-footer, no good. Gandenberger, now Ostrowski pushes. With the left hand, drive straight up the middle, and left-handed layup is good. He wanted to throw it down. And a timeout.
Bad man coming. Get out of the way. Here comes Dev.
He went up and he wanted to throw that down left-handed like we saw last year on game day. But he got the finger roll instead, and they just gave a bath to Jacob Peters as he comes out of the game. But Dev, first game of the year between these two teams. East Lyme had a big lead.
Yeah.
NFA grinded back, and then Dev kind of took over down the stretch and salted it away. And an 8-point lead here with 5 minutes remaining. You have to ask yourself, did NFA sort of give their last best burst?
Well, you're going to have to get a clean look on the offensive end and knock down one of these three-pointers. You get a backdoor cut.
Miller drives, hangs, and he'll draw the foul, and he'll get to the line. Foul's on Ostrowski.
And a nice job that time by Aiden Miller, Casey. Dev kind of closed out on a three-point line. Aiden Miller went to the rim. The harm, not the hoop, but he gets himself back to the free throw line.
He's got to knock these down. He's struggled from the line.
He's senior. He wants the ball. During crunch time. Smooth.
Too good a shooter to not have more success from the stripe.
Tough kid, competitor. Real tough kid.
He really stepped up and sort of helped glue this NFA team together. Horner tracked the rebound down. He kind of shoved Jackson out of the way. Gandenberger, Diaz. They had Simeon. You got to look for it. Breaks the double team, kicks the Gandenberger, fakes the 3. There it is. Nice look to Simeon for the layup.
And again, attack the pressure, Casey. Make the extra pass, reverse the ball, find the guy in the baseline, top of the key. Nice job that time by the Vikings. A little breathing room now for East Lyme.
Jackson all the way to the basket, and the layup somehow doesn't go down. Ostrowski pushes. Stripped from behind by Miller, and they're going to call Miller on a reach. I don't think he likes that one. And I'll put Ostrowski at the line.
None of these kids like getting fouls called on. Guilty party, not me. Wasn't me.
Not me, fouls out every game.
You like this cat perch from up top here at NFA?
I actually do like it.
You like it?
I do.
Good vantage point. You see the whole court.
Yes. The only problem up here is I got to remind myself that I'm not, when I'm looking at the court, I don't know what you, the viewer, are watching right now. I'm watching Dev Ostrowski knock down free throw.
Kind of reminds you of Cameron Indoor, isn't it? There we are.
Hey,
guys, how are
right.
you? Sports Doctor, Casey.
There it is.
Casey, hey, there he is. Tim Cook, thank you.
Ostrowski knocks them both down. And the lead is back up to 11, so nice answer by the Vikings.
A 13-2 run by East Lyme. Have them up 11.
Answering that run of NFA. A little backdoor cut. Ostrowski picked it off, and he got a double dribble. Tough call right that time. I think
he was getting held.
Yeah, Coach Bernardi's saying that. He said he was getting grabbed. Dev's going, what are you talking about?
Dev thought he got held. Coach Bernardi thought he got held, and Greg Keith called a double dribble. That was almost about to be showtime for Dev right there.
Yeah, he doesn't believe that one. We're going to get a timeout. NFA, Chris Giusti wants to talk it over with 3:50 remaining and an 11-point deficit.
Well, big game here tonight, Casey, but a lot of good basketball left still in the league. I mean, Waterford comes in here on Friday night. You talked about East Lyme playing Xavier, and then they play Prince Tech. So, a lot of these games here leading up to the ECC tournament and the state tournament as well. It's going to be crunch time here, in high school basketball.
Yeah, tonight some good games around the league. We've got Ledyard and New London, Bacon Academy and Waterford.
Get you a few scores, get Mike tomorrow on that. Waterford 76, Bacon Academy with 37 in the fourth quarter, is that right?
That is a big-time score, Waterford and Bacon. Last time, Bacon played real well against New London. They played well against Waterford. They
played them tough.
Competitive team, and Bacon's won 15 games or 20 games. They played well this year. But right now, we talked about this coming off of that last game, that Waterford game, where he said they're about to enter the part of the schedule where they're going to start rolling.
Yeah.
And Chris Giusti still has to play a game against those Lancers, so tonight's tough.
I'll be here Friday night. I'll make Sports Doctor make a house call here Friday night to watch that game.
Oh, there you go, folks. If that's not reason to come out here, I don't know what is. Long straightaway three by Marr, no good. Ostrowski with the rebound.
Yeah, you got the sense that Dev is just kind of taking this game over a little bit as far as rebounding, scoring, wants the ball in his hands.
Diaz drives baseline, swings it back to Gannenberger, gets a screen from Horner, loses the ball, and Hay comes out with it.
Thought he got hit. Coach Bernardi thought he got hit. They'll play on. We got a three-man crew here tonight, Casey. We haven't seen that in a long time, but I think this game has been very, very nicely officiated.
Sports Doctor, as always, a keen observation.
Now, we talked about this. This is a good game.
This is a
officiated
good game.
very well.
Yeah, it's worthy of the three-man crew that it has. Marquez. Now, nice look inside, but intercepted by Simeon to Ostrowski. He got banged, but no call.
He's turning the seat as a screen.
That's a heads-up play right there.
Get rid of the ball. Watch out for the 5 seconds, or take it to the rim.
And he'll draw the foul. I think that was a frustration drive right there. Dev guy, he's like, you know what? I'm taking this one myself.
Yeah, he got hurt in the hip a little bit. He's grimacing. He got a little Charlie horse, a little hit in the hip.
So I love the use of Nacito as a screen, though. That's a heads up right there. That's a veteran move from the junior guard. And it should be noted that Luke Leonard is back into the ball game for East Lyme, and that Nate Diaz held the fort down while Leonard was on the bench. And with 2:33 remaining and an 11-point lead, Diaz should be credited with helping spark that 13-2 run.
East Lyme, Casey, trying to capture their first title since 2010.
8 years. Long time. Ostrowski knocks them both down, and barring something completely unforeseen, they are on their way. Jackson. Marquez. Got to get a shot off soon. Jackson, floater in the lane, no good. Strong rebound by Hay, ball loose. And we're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow will favor NFA.
Luke Leonard back in the game, mixing things up. for Jeff Bernardi, doing some little things, some dirty work, some lunch pail stuff down low for the Vikings.
Oh, nice cut, but ball's loose. Ostrowski off to the races, has Leonard to his left. Hesitates, pulls it back out. Gannon throws it behind Gannenberger into the crowd. And Coach Bernardi is very frustrated. Oh, yes, the behind the back.
Yeah.
Walk with purpose, stern look. Gomes.
This is certainly a building process for Coach Bernardi at East Lyme. I mean, they've been pretty good the last few years, Casey. We thought that they would be a little bit better last year, but they have lived up to billing. They'll move to 15-2 after tonight if they can hold on this last minute and a half or so.
Yeah, two very tough games, though, with Xavier and Prince Tech. Find out a little bit more about what they're made of as they head into the state tournament. Ostrowski high for the rebound.
He's got to have at least a dozen boards here tonight, unofficially.
Pulls it back out, swings to Gannenberger. To Leonard. Leonard harassed and turns the ball over. Up ahead at the pack, it goes to Marr in the corner. And now Jackson. Drives, pulls up, and it's not get a friendly roll, but he picks up the loose ball and scores. Mason Jackson in a timeout by NFA as they cut the lead to 11 with 53 seconds remaining, and Coach Justes wants to try to map out last-minute strategy.
Set up some defense, set up a quick double team. If you don't get the turnover, Casey, in the first entry pass and the initial double, then you got to go to foul. And NFA is one foul away from putting East Lyme in a double bonus situation.
And the crowd is starting to sort of make their way toward the exits. They're stirring. Nice effort tonight, though. Got a little
good ball game.
Got a little nuts there for a while. Reminds a little bit of the New London NFA game in reverse.
Yeah, good basketball game. I give, NFA just couldn't get things moving in the offensive end, and they stuck with it and got this thing down to a 2-point game. But then I think you saw Dev Ostrowski take over a little bit, want the ball in his hands. He played great defense that time. A couple trips with Aiden Miller. Casey, he rebounded the ball. He's got to have at least a dozen rebounds tonight. So a stat sheet stuffer tonight for the East Lyme Star.
East Lyme, of course, will have the #1 seed in the ECC tournament.
Say that 5 times real fast.
I am not even going to try, Sports Doctor. And a turnover. Marquez, wild shot, no good. Jackson with the rebound, and he'll go to the line. And what a coming out party from Mason Jackson today. Might be a little bit too little and a little bit too late for the Wildcats to get the victory, but this young man has made his name known with a scoring burst, some very good defense.
He's brought some energy to this team. He brought some energy to this gym.
What a nice stroke for the freshman.
A long, lean, good shooter, cool hair. He's got everything.
Matching glasses.
Yeah. Fashionable glasses to go with the coach's fashionable suit.
Nice, calm, smooth stroke and knocks them both down. Leonard gets the inbound. He's harassed. Splits it to Ostrowski. Ostrowski all the way to the basket. Dangles. No good.
See that stop and go by Dev on a dime. A little up and under.
And Hay dribbles off his foot. That's a tough break as we're down to 34 seconds remaining. Horner to inbound. Gannenberger ahead to Ostrowski. Ostrowski gets fouled on the perimeter. He had Simeon wide open, and Simeon's telling him, hey, I had a look, man. You could have had me wide open. But Dev will go to the line, and he will shoot 2. Even 30 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Looking to salt away both the game and bring East Lyme its first outright ECC championship. They haven't had one in 8 years, 2010. And they will be the #1 seed in the upcoming ECC tournament. They will be a favorite in Division III in the state tournament. from the corner, no good by Scholes. Rebound underneath by Hay, and Ostrowski comes out of the pack, and he'll get fouled, and he'll go to the line with 16 seconds remaining. 2 games remaining for East Lyme against quality teams, Xavier and Prince Tech, and that Prince Tech game will be a very good opportunity for them to find out where they really stand in Division III. We saw New London upset Prince Tech on a buzzer beater. East Lyme, of course, has given New London 2 losses this year, and the Wildcats in Division I are an impossibility. Division I is this year. It is a stacked field, and they will try to make some noise in the upcoming ECC tournament as well. Gomes with a 3-pointer, no good. Jackson with a left-handed finish, and a timeout by NFA, down 10 points with 8 seconds remaining. They will talk it over for one last effort. It's a 30-second. Ten seconds remaining. And it should be noted that East Lyme is on the road for both of those games, at Xavier in Middletown and at Prince Tech in Hartford. And 2 tough road tests to close out the regular season for the Vikings. But regardless of how those 2 games go, they will be the #1 seed in the ECC tournament, and they will be one of the favorites in Division III for a state championship. Of course, Waterford with a game upcoming against NFA, which is another likely preview of the ECC tournament, a showdown between those 2 teams. Leonard, ball turned over. Gomes, floater, no good. Horner with a strong rebound. And there it is. There's your ball game. And the East Lyme Vikings, congratulations to Jeff Bernardi and the Vikings, as they are officially the ECC Division I regular season champions. A resounding and well-played victory over a game NFA Wildcat team. Disappointing loss for Chris Giusti and the Wildcats, but with a game remaining against Waterford in the upcoming ECC tournament, the Wildcats will be a team to watch in the ECC tournament. The sports doctor fittingly has the perfect set of post-game interviews lined up down on the court. The sports doctor awaiting one last person, and I will let the visual speak for itself. Sports doctor.
Well, Coach Bernardi, first ECC title since 2010.
Yes, it's fantastic. You know, we set these lofty goals for ourselves this year, and we really emphasized that in the offseason. We put together, I thought, a pretty good schedule to prepare us for the grind of the ECC, and I really think our out-of-conference schedules prepared us so that we can bring home this championship this year.
You guys had a 15-point lead. NFA made a run, cut it to 2. What was the difference down the stretch for you guys?
I mean, I think we finally figured out that diamond-in-one trapping defense. I've never heard of that one before, but that was very tricky for us. Finally, we gained our composure. I thought Nate did a nice job stepping in. We made baskets when we had to, but really what it came down to is we got stops, and then in transition, we didn't have to face that defense.
Well, 11 points and 5 rebounds in the fourth quarter alone for Dev Ostrowski. Dev, was there something in you that said, I got to take this game over for my team and put him on my back?
Well, yeah, when Luke got taken out, it's kind of a surprise. We're kind of weak without Luke, but Nate stepped up, and he got me the ball, and I just went for it, went for the basket and scored. And then I had a bunch of 3 throws, so that helped.
Well, all the talk about, Waterford, New London, NFA, East Lyme, back on top. How does it feel, guys? How does it feel?
Really good. Yeah.
Now, Jeff, you guys are not done. You got a tough game coming up against Xavier, and then you got a big game against Prince Tech.
Yep.
There's a lot of basketball left for East Lyme.
Right, yeah, we're looking to be peaking at this point of the season. I scheduled hard games late in the season to prepare us for the playoffs, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Casey, these guys seem very subdued, much like their handsomely dressed head coach, but these guys feel very good about themselves. Huge win on the road for East Lyme tonight. Big things coming for this group down the stretch of the season.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. Congratulations to all the East Lyme Vikings and head coach Jeff Bernardi on their ECC championship. They will go into the ECC tournament as the number 1 seed. And, of course, we will have those ECC boys basketball semifinals and the boys final, as well as the girls basketball final. But what's that on Saturday? Well, it's the ECC cheerleading final, and I am pumped up. Game day. We'll be bringing you all the action from Waterford High School. The ex-Sweeney Fieldhouse will be jumping with the ECC cheerleading final. The sports doctor and all of the game day crew will be there bringing that to you live. The girls basketball final, which should be a New London and someone, as the Whaler girls just polished off an undefeated regular season, and then it's anybody's guess at who the semifinals will be in the ECC boys basketball tournament. Sports doctor, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes, sure.
Who are the 4 semifinalist teams in the ECC boys tournament?
Boy, oh boy. I mean, I guess the smart guy in me would pencil in Waterford to play in their home gym. East Lyme. And then I guess you could roll the dice and go with pretty much, would it surprise you if NFA was there? No. Would it surprise you if New London was there? No. Would it surprise you if Ledyard were there? No, probably not. And it's just, I think there's 2 teams right now that are separating themselves from the pack a little bit. We saw one of them tonight in East Lyme. Waterford, red hot at the right time, looking to get back on their home floor and win a championship. They lost there last year, Casey, but then I think the other 2 spots are really up for grabs.
And it's really going to be about seeding
Yeah.
and matchups, because we talked about these teams play each other so differently. And NFA, how they play Ledyard and how they play New London, I think East Lyme's a bad matchup for NFA.
Right.
I think different matchups. I think we saw how New London was a tough matchup for Waterford. It'll be very interesting to see which of those teams get matched up with whom.
Right, and 2 years ago, we saw Griswold actually sneak their way into a semifinal, so you never know. Does Bacon become a player? Does Fitch get hot and become a player? It's tournament time. Anything can happen, but I will tell you right now, there's some good quality basketball in this league. I'll take these Big 5 teams and put them up against anybody in the state, outside of maybe some of the Division I teams that, whether it's the East Catholic or something like that. But listen, I'll roll the dice. You throw in St. Bernard's as well. Stonington could be a tough out. I love the way the ECC is shaping up down the stretch of the season here.
Yeah, I mean, a chance for maybe a Division 2, 3, and 4
Yeah, sure.
all have teams who compete. I think New London is a legitimate threat in Division 2. Certainly Waterford and East Lyme in Division 3. St. Bernard's in Division 4. Don't overlook Stonington.
They can shoot the ball. They got a tough coach, so.
Absolutely. They're the Ostrowskis talking to Coach Calhoun. If that was about 10 years ago, I think we'd have a scoop on our hands. But, there's the possibility that you could get like a New London Ledyard 4-5 game with the winner playing East Lyme. So, I mean, how tough is that? You're New London or Ledyard, and you have to beat each other and then go play East Lyme.
And get to the semifinals. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, Casey. And, again, a lot of it comes down to mistake-free basketball down the stretch.
Well, we are going to have all of it for you, the semifinals and finals of the boys, the finals of the girls. But join us Saturday, 2 o'clock, as we bring you the ECC Girls Cheerleading Championship live from Waterford High School. For Peter Wappy, Mike DeMoro, the crew, and the sports doctor, I am Casey O'Neill saying good night, everybody.